Make sure hips, back, shoulders are really comfortable. And then you can straighten out the legs. And resting your arms, your hands by your side. If you recognize here that your lower back is feeling uncomfortable, a little bit strained from the position, you can also bend the knees and place your feet up. Just making sure that hips, back, and shoulders can really release and drop into the ground. And then here with your eyes closed, take a full breath from your nose, inhale. And from your mouth, gentle exhale. And then for a moment, allow yourself to become still and start to focus all your awareness into your breathing. Just recognize the motions of your breath within your body. You can feel how your chest is lifting, expanding, and then softening, dropping. And how your belly is toning and releasing. You feel how this dynamic, this very gentle movement is passing like a wave through your body with each breath that you take. And to deepen this focus into your breathing, bring your right hand to your belly and your left hand to your heart. Now with your palms, with your fingertips, you can feel even deeper into the motions of your breath. And then again from your nose, deeply inhale. And from your mouth, gentle exhale. And staying focused with your breath, but start to align and direct the motions here. So first you inhale into your belly, into the right hand. From here, draw your inhalation up towards your chest, your left hand. And then with your exhale, you start from your left hand, your chest, to release your breath down towards your belly and your right hand. And repeating this with each breath you take. Inhale towards the belly, inhale further up towards the chest. Then start exhaling from your chest and releasing down towards your belly. Like this, really start to experience your body as a breathing space, as a breathing vessel. And start to focus and align deeper with the qualities of your breath. Just feeling that buildup of tension, of strength and stretch when you inhale. Feeling that release and softening when you exhale. And staying present with those qualities, taking them with you into your practice and your yoga today. And then once more from your nose, deeply inhale. And from your mouth, gentle exhale. Then for a moment, you can start to open your eyes. Just here, releasing your hands. You can stretch your arms overhead. Just move and round in your shoulders a little bit. And then also for a moment, draw your knees towards your belly. Start to roll left and right to massage your lower back. And then we're going to continue with another breathing exercise, staying here on the floor. And also with the knees bent, you're going to place your feet flat down behind your hips. Make sure that the knees are not collapsing to the center or open to the side. You want to keep them easy stabilized on hip level. Then you have your palms flat on the ground by the side of your hips. If you like, keep your eyes closed for this one as well. So with your inhale, you're going to start to lift your arms and reach them overhead towards the floor. With your exhale, you're going to release your arms back to the side of your torso. Inhale, reaching your arms up and overhead to the ground. Exhale, releasing your arms back to the side of your torso. Repeating this with each breath you take. But first, coming back to this deep, calm and steady breathing that we cultivated in the beginning. Then using this calm, steady flow of your breath to create a calm and steady flow of movement with your arms and shoulders. Imagine you moving in slow motion. Whenever your arms reach overhead, you feel a bit more stretch and strength in your upper body. Then with your exhale, the arms are releasing back next to your torso. And you're also releasing that stretch and strength sensation. The next time with your inhalation, you lift your arms overhead. Keep this position. Just make sure your back is comfortable and then see if you can really release your arms to the ground. If this is difficult, you can open your arms slightly. So your upper body looks more like a V shape. And you really want to be able to press your fingers, the back of your hands, your arms and shoulders into the ground, holding that maximum strength and stretch in your upper body. But in here, letting your breath flow easy. You recognize with the inhale, you're creating a bit more engagement into the stretch you're holding here. With the exhale, you're softening and releasing out of the intensity. And here, take one final inhale, reaching further with your arms overhead. And with the exhale, release your arms down by your side. And then here you can open your feet further apart and start to circle your knees towards the left and towards the right, going through some windshield viper twists. You can also open your arms sideways so your shoulders keep a bit more weight and stay neutral on the ground. And then from here, roll over to one side. And we're going to continue standing. Just 1 second. Something appeared here on my screen. Okay. So coming to a standing position, and in the beginning, having a comfortable neutral stance. Just like my feet are a little bit pointing outwards. My knees are slightly bent. So I'm really standing like in everyday life, like waiting for the dolmush at the corner. And then here, starting to move through the upper body. With your inhale, lift your chest and gaze up. With the exhale, start to drop your chest around and gaze to the floor. Want to keep your legs, your hips as still as possible. Just lifting your chest and gazing to the sky. And then here, rounding your upper back and gazing to the floor. With each inhale, you extend the spine and gaze up. With the exhale, you round your spine and you gaze down. Just doing this very gentle in your own pace with your breathing in your own tempo. And then slowly you can start to expand through the whole spine. So if you inhale, really arch your whole back, maybe slightly lean the hips forward, really extend through the spine and gaze up. And then with the exhale, slightly start to round and release the hips back a little bit. So here my arms, my head are heavily dropping down with gravity. And really round through my spine as much as I can. Inhale, the hips move forward. I extend the spine and gaze up. Exhale, hips move slightly backwards. Round and let your arms, your head drop down. Again, repeating this. Inhale, full extension, open the front body. And then exhale, full flexion and closing the front body. Just repeating this a couple of times in your own tempo. Then from here, the next time, when you're going into the rounding, bring your feet in a bit closer. So your feet are standing hip distance parallel. Keep the legs straight and locked. And with your back rounding, arms and head are heavily hanging down with gravity and just sinking into a forward fold. See how far you can go. Knees stay locked. Don't bend. Keep the legs straight. And then see how far you can go down. If you touch your shins, your ankles, or maybe your toes, it's all fine. You just want to lean into that forward fold with keeping the legs straight. And then from here, start to bend your knees. So you really feel how the torso is collapsing towards your upper thighs. Like your chest is almost leaning towards the knees. And still your arms, your head are heavily dropping down. Then from here, keeping your arms and your head dropping down heavy, re-straighten the legs. With the legs straight, keeping your spine rounding, and slowly rise back up to stand. And here, take a comfortable breath. Now we're going to do this again. First, push the hips forward, stretch your upper body, extending the front side, and then pull your chin towards your chest, start to round closing the front side and releasing into a forward fold, but keeping the knees bent as much as possible. See how deep you can sink in, touching your shins, your ankles, or your toes, whatever is available. And then in the deepest position, start to bend your knees so your torso can lean further down towards your upper thighs. And you're really comfortably coming to a deeper forward fold position. Then from here, you re-straighten the legs, keeping your spine rounding. Slowly rise back up to stand. And here, take a comfortable breath. And we're going to do this one last time. So starting with your inhale, expand and open the front body. With the exhale, start to round and close your front body. And then slowly dropping into the forward fold. Just letting your breath move in a way that it's comfortable. Step by step, sinking in as deep as you can go. And then from the deepest position, slowly start to bend the knees so you can sink in further. And then here, we're going to stay in this deeper forward fold for a moment. Just keeping a heavier bend in the knees. So really feel like the torso is completely collapsing towards the legs. And then try to keep that connection of torso and thighs, but re-straighten the legs a bit again. You see, if I straighten all the way, my torso is coming up. I want to keep that connection here in this part and just sinking with my upper body heavy down. So really softening neck and shoulders. If you like, you can hold onto your feet for a moment and pull yourself in a bit deeper. And then from here, re-straighten the legs, keeping the back rounding. And with your inhale, slowly rise up to stand and relax for a moment. Okay. And we're going to continue with another round of standing forward folds, but now we're going to integrate some twisting and lateral movements. So once more, standing comfortable, neutral, but with the feet a bit wider open. So my knees are slightly bent, a bit soft, feet are slightly out. From here, keep the hips and legs steady, but move your torso, your chest, and your shoulders from one side to the other. It's a bit like introduction to belly dance class, keeping the hips as steady as possible, just moving with your upper body. So the most motion is happening here in the center, in the part between the lumbar and the thoracic spine. You can also open your arms. So this allows you to track the motion a bit better. Thinking your arms are hanging on one line with your shoulders. You're just moving on this line from side to side. And the next time you're going to your right side, allow your right arm to drop down, but making sure you keep the left side engaged. The left foot is pushing the floor and you really feel a stretch along the left side body. From here, inhale back to center, exhale, go to the left, and then here hanging into the side body stretch. Left arm is heavy down with gravity, right side is engaged to open and stretch, and inhale, release to center. One more time, open your arms. With your inhale, reach to the right. With your exhale, lower down into the side body stretch, but now stay here and reach your left arm to the sky. Really think of keeping the hips stable, really feeling the feet pushing the ground and the leg muscles supporting you. And then from here, with your inhale, you release to the center. Second side, inhale to open, reach to the left side, exhale, drop your left arm down. Again, making sure the legs stabilize. You're feeling a side body stretch on the right. From here, the right arm is going up to the sky. And then again, with your inhale, you release, coming back to center. Now we're going to go into the same pathway, but we're going to integrate a twist. Always thinking you want to go across. So when the left hand is lifted, the left hand wants to move towards the right leg. When the right hand is lifted, right hand goes to the left leg. Open your arms, reach to the right side. With your exhale, drop into your side body stretch. Left arm is going up to the sky. But with your next exhalation, the left hand wants to reach towards the right leg. See what you can touch, your knee, your shin, your ankle, maybe your foot, putting yourself a bit into this twisted side forward fold. And with your inhale, you rise back up to center. Exhale, you stand comfortable. Second side, inhale, lean to the left. Exhale, dropping into the side body stretch. Again, reaching the right arm up here. And then with your exhalation, the right hand makes a big circle towards the left leg. Just reaching, touching wherever you can. Foot is great, but it doesn't have to be. It can also be just the side of the leg. And the next inhale, you rise to center. Exhale, you stand comfortable. And here we go again. Open your arms. Inhale, reach to the right. Exhale, drop into the right side to stretch. From here, inhale, left hand to the sky. Exhale, circle the left hand towards the right leg. See where you can touch and slightly pulling yourself a bit deeper now. Should feel every time you come here, more space is available. And then again, with your inhale, you rise up. With your exhale, you stand comfortable. Open your arms. Inhale, lean to the left. Exhale, release into the side body stretch. Inhale, you reach your right arm up. With your next exhalation, big circle, right hand goes to the left leg. Standing here for a moment steady. And then with your next inhale, you rise up to center. And 3 times is this charm. Open your arms, inhale, lean to the right. Exhale, drop into the side body stretch. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale, circling left hand towards the right leg. Stay here for a moment, leaning deep over the right leg. Maybe round and then pull your head to touch the right leg wherever it's possible. And then with your inhale, you rise to center. Exhale, stand comfortable. And last time, open your arms. Inhale, move to the left. Exhale, left arm is leaning down, side body stretch. Inhale, right arm to the sky. Exhale, big circle. Right hand finds the left leg. Wherever you can hold on to pull yourself a bit more active in. And then see if you can round in your spine and reaching with your head towards the left leg. And then with your inhale, you rise to stand. With your exhale, just easing it out. And we're going to continue from here on the ground in table position. So if your knees are a bit sensitive, you can use a blanket or something to bolster. And in case your wrist gets uncomfortable, you can either come onto a fist or maybe slightly turning your hands out or just keeping it in the neutral position. And then here in your table, starting with cat and cow. With your inhale, you're going to extend the spine, lift your head up. With your exhale, you're going to round and flex the spine and release the head down. Really taking your time with this. So you can close your eyes, coming back to a deep, comfortable breathing, and then starting to move with discomfort in your breath. The next time when you're in your cat position, move on into your downward facing dog. So here in the beginning, you can keep the knees bent, just allowing the hips to really push upwards, lengthening your spine and reaching through your chest backwards. So you're really putting some work into the shoulder girdle, but you're also making sure while the muscles are working, you're keeping them in a stretch position. Then if it feels comfortable, maybe walking out the legs for a moment, moving the hips a bit, just using that downward facing dog, how it is best for you this moment. Then open your feet slightly outwards, walking your hands backwards, and then here bend the knees, sit the hips down, coming into a squatting position, Malasana. In the beginning, just make sure that you sit comfortable. If you need to prep your heels, you can use a block or a blanket or roll up your yoga mat. And then just sitting and creating a long spine here. And don't use your elbows or your arms to push against the knees. Just keeping your arms comfortable, reaching forward and creating that length in the spine from the support of your legs, your hip, and your core muscles. And then here taking one last breath, lengthening and stretching your spine, and then allowing yourself to slouch your posture. Just rounding a bit, sitting lazy into your squatting position. Just feel how the hips are sinking down deep. And then here start to straighten your legs and come into a forward fold. So now the feet come back in, hip distance parallel. You can slightly bend the knees and just want to let the weight of your torso carry you down. And really feeling this connection of your upper body torso leaning towards the legs. And then holding onto your feet, your toes, or your heels. Keeping the torso pulled in deep, but slightly straighten the legs for that. It's like I'm pushing my belly towards my thighs and I'm reaching my head towards my toes, creating a deep stretch all along the backside of my legs and also feeling this towards my lower back and my spine. And then from here with your next breath, slightly bend the knees to soften. Walk your hands forward, sit the knees down, and we're back in table position. And we're going to do another round of those. If you like, you can continue with cat and cow or a more dynamic variation that I prefer to practice, starting in an extended child's pose. Hips are sitting on the heels, arms are stretched forward. And then here, inhale, you rise up, round on your back. Exhale, lift your head, extend your back. and sitting into the child's pose again. Inhale, you rise and round and up. Exhale, you extend the back and sit back into child's pose. Just you're finding your own pace, your own tempo. If you prefer, with eyes closed, once more coming back to that deep and calm breathing. And then taking this calmness of your breath into the movement. Thinking of being in slow motion, having a slow motion wave rippling along your spine, and letting the movement be guided by this idea of moving very slow and controlled. Then here taking one final round. And then continue your way into a downward facing dog. Now in this downward facing dog, you're going to focus a bit more on stretching the upper body, chest and shoulders. So keeping the knees slightly bent and really pushing the hips upwards. Make sure that you always keep weight in the inner edge of your hands. You're pushing towards your index space. You're keeping arms straight with external rotation. Lift out of your shoulders and then draw your head towards the ground. I think you want to stand as tall as possible in your shoulders, reaching your armpits towards the floor, reaching your head towards the floor, creating a deeper stretch into your upper body. So the shoulders are really opening while you're still carrying weight here. So again, muscles are working in a stretched, extended position. And slightly releasing out of the stretch. Open your feet outwards a bit and sitting into your squat balasana. Here again, in the beginning, without using too much support of your arms, just keeping the chest lifted, keeping the spine as long as possible. You should feel a bit of muscle work happening actively around the hips, around the belly, core area. And from here, you want to create length in your upper body. And then for a last moment, just releasing all your effort, trying to be as passive as possible in the squat. Really feel how the weight of your hips is taking you down. And you can also round in with your spine, slouching a bit in your posture. And then we continue in the forward fold. Straighten your legs. Bring your feet in so they're parallel hip distance. And then in the beginning with the knees bend a bit deeper, allow the torso to sink down. Then holding onto your toes or your heels, or if you're not so deep, also grabbing your ankles, your shins is fine. And then keeping the torso pulled in as deep as possible towards your legs. You want to straighten the legs a bit while you're reaching with your head towards your toes. Just repeating that dynamically a couple of times. And step by step, with each repetition, moving into a deeper forward fold. And then here one last time, staying with your legs straight, pulling yourself in as deep as possible. And slightly bend the knees, soften out. Walk your hands forward, coming back to table position. But then from here, we're going to continue on the ground, slowly cooling down into relaxation a bit. Anything that you need here, if you're feeling cold, socks or blanket, everything is fine. Just making sure you're comfortable on the ground, and anything you want to use later for Shavasana is also close by. So for me, I prefer using a pillow under my legs. So I'm going to keep this here so I don't have to move a lot later. And then find your way to the ground. For a moment, pull your knees towards your belly and very gentle roll left to right, just slightly massaging your lower back. And then place your feet back on the floor. Keep the knees bent and parallel hip distance. And also place your hands next to your torso. However, this is most comfortable, hands flat on the floor or elbows bent. For me personally, elbows bent works better. And then with the inhale, engage your legs, lift the hips up. And with the exhale, release your hips down to the floor. Repeating with each breath, you inhale, you reach your hips up. And you exhale, you release your hips down to the floor. And make sure when you lift the hips up that you feel your upper thighs and your butt cheeks working so that the legs and hip muscles are really supporting this movement. Should really feel like when you're at the top position that you're squeezing the butt cheeks quite well. But also pushing your arms, your shoulders into the ground a bit so your upper body keeps a slight support. Doesn't have to be too intense. You don't want to stretch it to the chest. Just want to make sure you're not collapsing into the neck and into the spine. And we do this one last time. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, release the hips down. And then once more, pull your knees towards your belly. Easy roll left to right to massage your lower back. And then releasing your feet to the floor. But for eye of the needle stretch, place your right foot on top of your left knee, your thigh. And then like this, pull the legs back in towards your belly, your upper body. In the first moment, make sure that your upper body, your neck, your shoulders are still comfortable, that your head can really touch the floor. You're not holding too much tension in the upper body. And then pulling the legs in, very slightly push the right knee out. So you're intensifying the stretch. And if you need a bit more intensity, think of arching your spine, like you want to tilt the hips forward, you want to push your belly out. And with this forward tilt, anterior pelvic tilt, you should also create a good amount of resistance into the stretch that you feel around the right side of your hip. But then simply holding this in an intensity that you can bear for a longer time. Then focusing into your breath, easy inhale and exhale. And then with your next breath, slowly release. For a moment, straightening the legs to the floor. So giving a bit of break towards the knees, getting them to a neutral position. And then second side, now placing the left foot on top of the right knee or upper thigh. And then here pulling the legs towards your torso. And then in the first place, make sure the upper body stays comfortable. So your head can really lay down onto the floor. You don't have too much tension in neck and shoulders while you pull the legs into the position. And then first step to make this a bit more intense would be pushing out the left knee. This should really give you more of a stretching sensation around the left thigh towards the hip. And then also working through the pelvic position, getting into an anterior pelvic tilt, slightly arching your spine, your lower back, with pushing the belly out, thereby intensifying the stretch more. And again, coming to a point that you feel some deep opening is happening around the left hip, but you're still able to find a comfortable breath and just holding this space for a moment. And then again, with your next breath, slowly releasing the position, lengthening the legs for a second on the floor, getting some tension out of the knees. And then here we're going to continue with deeper twists. So bringing your knees back up and then stacking the right knee on top of the left, like you want to go with your legs into Garudasana. And then slightly adjust your hips over towards the right side and twisting your knees as deep as you can to the left. If it's difficult in this position, you can also open the legs, just put them on top of each other comfortable. You want to keep the shoulders, your arms as flat as possible on the ground, while your legs, your hips are in a deep twist towards the left side. And then here as well, slowly starting to drop the body very passive. And just holding any conscious or active tension. Just letting all the muscles relax as much as you can. Coming back to a calm and deep breathing. You recognize, because of the twisted position, the capacity of the breath is slightly limited. But still, with this limited capacity, you want to create a sense of ease and comfort. And then with your next breath, again, slowly release towards the center. And then here, start to switch sides. Now the left knee comes on top of the right, like in Garudasana. Adjusting your hips towards the left and twisting the knees towards the right. Again, if this is difficult, you can use a bolster or a block to prop up the knees a bit. And while the lower body is in a deep twist, you want to keep your arms, your shoulders, the upper body as neutral as possible on the ground. When you're in the first moment, just setting yourself up in a way that it's accessible and comfortable. But then step by step, work on dropping any conscious effort. You try to release, you soften your muscles as much as possible. Just getting very passive in this position and then focusing into your breath. And again, you recognize this limitation with the breath not being as open as spacious as usual because of the twisted position. But then still trying to create a sense of comfort. Just finding a place, a level of depth in your breathing that allows you to find comfort within the limitation. And again, with your next breath, slowly release back to center. Take your time here, bringing your hips to a neutral space. For a moment, draw your knees back to your belly. Just very easy rolling left to right to massage your lower back. And then from here, getting ready for the final relaxation. As I said, for me, I like to use a bolster under my legs, but please set yourself up in a way that is most comfortable for your Shavasana. But we're going to do a very quick pranayama breath work, just to calm down the nervous system a bit more. So coming to your comfortable position on the ground, onto your back. And then with your eyes closed, take your right hand to your belly and your left hand. Then here from your nose, deeply inhale. And from your mouth, exhale. And then continue breathing just from your nose. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5. Exhale, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5. Exhale, 10. Inhale, 5. Exhale, 10. Inhale, 5. Exhale, 10. Inhale, 5. And exhale, 10. And then here, take another full inhale from your nose into your belly. And from your mouth, releasing exhale. And then keeping your eyes closed, let your breath go back to a natural flow without any control or restriction. And drop your arms by your side with your palms facing towards the ceiling. Then here recognize how your body is getting more calm, more comfortable, how all the strength and tension in your muscles is fully dropping and softening, how the whole body is dropping and softening into the ground. And you're sinking deep inside yourself towards an inner space that holds you more calm and peaceful. Feeling with each breath, you can sink deeper towards an inner stillness that allows you to fully relax and release into your Shavasana. Slowly start to deepen your breathing, finding a fuller inhale, extending, stretching the exhale. And slowly start to mobilize your body, moving your fingers, your toes, stretching out your arms and your legs, and step by step coming back from your Shavasana. And for a last moment, draw your knees towards your belly. Easy rolling left to right to massage your lower back. And then from here, roll over to one side and lift yourself up, coming to a seated position. And then here for a last moment, with your eyes closed, sit up nice and tall. And find your hands in prayer pose, Anjali Mudra, with your thumbs touching the heart. Then here to your heart, deeply inhale. And gentle release, exhale. For a last moment, recognize your body, feeling deep into your breathing, recognizing that sense of calm and comfort that you cultivated within yourself, with all the effort that you've been giving throughout this practice today. And then one last time, take a full breath. And then with the exhale, bow your head towards your heart. And then lift your head and open your eyes. And thanks a lot for practicing with me here today. Take care.
Thank you very much.